Hello, and welcome to the Rankin Report for Sunday, July 14th, 2024. Thank you for joining me today. From the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8. See to it that no one takes you captive through hollow and deceptive philosophy, which depends on human tradition and the elemental spiritual forces of this world, rather than on Christ. And from First Thessalonians chapter 1, verses 8 through 10, and this is coming out of the 1599 Geneva Bible. For from you sounded out the word of the Lord, not in Macedonia and in Achaia only, but your faith also, which is toward God, spread abroad in all quarters, that we need not to speak anything. For they themselves show of us what manner of entering in we had unto you, and how ye turned from God to idols, to serve the living and true God, and to look for his Son from heaven, whom he raised from the dead, even Jesus, which delivereth us from that wrath to come. Picking up on what we began last week regarding the need for discernment, these scriptures go deeper into what we are to look for and look out for in dealing with people who would assume leadership positions once the Great Awakening takes place. First of all, we must return to the basic mindset of the fathers. To them, the true ruler, king, if you will, of the United States is God. Hence the second of the revolutionary slogans I like to end these posts with: no king but Jesus. This was actually used during the revolution. And if Jesus is king, then a government of mere humans was, at best, a necessary evil, and one to be constantly monitored by the people, lest it grow too powerful and trample on the people's rights. The whole point of the American experiment was to prove that a people that could govern themselves under God, through his word, required only minimal, essential, and limited government. Even when it became clear that a better constitution than the original Articles of Confederation was needed, the new constitution drafted, the one we currently use, still spelled out that those powers, not specifically listed as belonging to the federal government, were assumed to belong to the individual states or to the people. This came from the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, the last of the original 10 amendments, known collectively as the Bill of Rights. Now, this whole discussion could boil down to a simple question of whether or not the candidate is a Christian. And I mean a spirit-filled, Bible-quoting, honest-to-Pete believer. Many of the founders emphasized the election of people professing the Christian faith, and some early state constitutions mandated that a newly elected official take an oath of Christian faith before entering into office. But you and I know that it's not that simple. Anyone can quote the scriptures, either in or out of context, with the intent to deceive or use them for selfish motivations. And we know that Satan, too, knows the Bible thoroughly, and that no one intending to deceive the people would hesitate for a moment to take an oath falsely. It happens all the time these days. So in the back of everyone's head is the idea that the candidate is putting up a good front, as it were. Excuse me. We need to examine the fruit of that particular tree. Examine records, previous votes, and anything else that today might be called research or due diligence. It is not enough to merely stop speaking of false gods and false doctrines. Anyone can do that when they see the turn of the tide. But people can still hold such ideas in their hearts. The repentance must be real. Globalist tendencies must be turned away from, and pressure from outside will never accomplish this. Think about it. Will the globalists not simply say that we are now the oppressors, as they supposedly once were? As the old song from The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again, put it, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The only true cure for heeding the doctrines of demons is that the demons must be driven out, both from individuals and from the nation. But this cannot be done by human effort alone. Only God can do the effective work here. This is why the Great Awakening must come first, or at the very least accompany the societal change. Otherwise, the globalists will just the groundwork, lay the groundwork of, and prepare for their next opportunity. Pray for the Great Awakening. No king but Jesus. Independence forever. That's the Rankin Report for Sunday, July 14th, 2024. Don't forget to hit the like or share buttons or both. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Have a great day.